Good evening. This is Brian Thomas Simons, and these are the main headlines of this hour. Among other news,
New 266 executive decisions were released in the Oval Office during the weekend. Among them, 1. State Secretary Little Marco was called via Zoom to inform him that on top of his duties as State Secretary, National Security Advisor, and EPA Administrator, he will be appointed DOJ Administrator since President Trump wants Amy Gleason at the front of more important tasks and DOJ's status is unclear. Visibly emotional, Secretary Rubio thanked President Trump for the new appointments. Likewise, he declared that he was always available if, in the end, the president no longer wanted Hegseth as defense secretary. When he asked whether he could return to Florida for a week, President Trump emphatically said that that was impossible, that he had to stay in the Maldives and sent him 3 more medals. 2. Another executive decision declared that Chief of Staff Susie Wiles did not try to take her own life after realizing how her career had hit bottom. In fact, Chief of Staff Wiles is very proud and motivated to have her name attached to this administration, declared Press Secretary Leavitt. 3. Secretary Rubio is declared not unhappy for being confined to the Maldives and will manage his DOJ-related duties from that island, Secretary Leavitt declared. B. Democrats present their SAM strategy to speak with American men. The authors of the handbook declared that identifying American men's priorities was paramount before drafting any message directed to that constituency. After concluding that not all men are equal in their opinions and preferences, the task force came up with 7 basic questions to identify the right market segment to which the Democratic message must be tailored. 1. Who is your favorite singer, Beyoncé or Taylor Swift? 2. What is your favorite microfeminism? 3. What are your pronouns? 4. Why is Batman a representative of the patriarchy? 5. What is your favorite Starbucks latte? 6. Did you like Amelia Perez to Rachel Zegler's Snow White, or do you like them both equally? 7. Why is it unfair for heterosexual men not to like trans women? C. Elon Musk's ketamine use responsible for best decisions in Trump's campaign. Tesla CEO and former DOJ leader Elon Musk revealed that the best decisions made during Trump's presidential campaign were made under the effect of ketamine and other drugs. It consisted basically of funding Democrats. Once they had the money, they had the means to sabotage themselves. It's well known that Democrats can only win the elections they don't lose despite their best efforts, declared Musk for The Guardian. Asked whether he feared reprisals after having confessed his addictions, which could raise doubts about the legality of his prescriptions, Musk seemed surprised, apparently not having foreseen that such a thing was possible now that he no longer counted on the favor of the president. D. Elon Musk declared that he was deeply disappointed in Trump. In an interview given to the New York Times, Elon Musk declared that he was deeply disappointed in Trump, before adding that his children from all his families won't be able to work in DOJ as he had promised them, which made him feel like a bad father. Dishonest President Trump took my campaign money and then canceled all my subsidies and contracts. He played me for weeks, making me believe he would cancel Medicaid and Medicare to pay for Golden Dome, and then this is the gratitude I receive. It's not fair. You can't tell me those people who died in the third world because I cut USAID funds have suffered more than me. Can you? Protested Musk before the interviewer. Russia presents new list of demands to put an end to the Ukraine war. After a new call made by President Trump to the Russian leader, Vladimir Putin, the latter sent him a new list of demands through Vasily Nebenzia, representative of the Russian Federation before the United Nations Security Council. The document has 356 demands. Among them, 1. The West must stop arming Ukraine. Disarming that nation will be part of the Kremlin's commitments once Yanukovych is installed as its new leader. 2. Zelensky must be delivered in a cage with bars as described in the sketch attached as Annex A to the demands. That way, he would be ready for his trial for crimes against humanity. 3. Ukrainians will be sent to Siberia, where they will live happy lives, while Russian nationals take care of the reconstruction of Ukraine. 4. After Yanukovych is installed as the new president, NATO will admit Ukraine as a member with veto power, just like Orban, but without the chance of suspending its voting rights. 5. Europe will be able to choose between buying Russian gas through Nord Stream 2 or through the Trans-Caspian pipeline that goes through Georgia. Not doing so will result in war reparations in favor of Moscow. 6. Germany will re-elect Olaf Scholz as Chancellor and dismiss MERS. Nothing better than that afraid sissy man, clarified the Russian representative. 7. Europe and the United States will return the Russian reserves they never used to help Zelensky with interests and penalties, clarified the Russian representative. F. Gabbard will revamp Trump's intelligence briefings with Pepe Lafrog as presenter. As getting President Trump focused on the daily intelligence briefings has become increasingly challenging, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has hired a Fox News producer to upgrade the presentations with Pepe Lafrog, a character who enjoys the president's sympathies. The president was visibly bored and barely followed the briefings, so we decided we had to change the format. We haven't decided whether we will use animation or an actor in a costume, but those are the options we are discussing, declared the Director of National Intelligence. Pete Buttigieg started his 2028 campaign for the Democratic nomination. Pete Buttigieg started his 2028 campaign for the Democratic nomination with an Instagram video that has already reached 2 million views. In the video, the former transportation secretary wears a beard and a flannel shirt, following the advice of his pollsters and campaign advisors. Experienced professionals recruited from the successful Harris Walz campaign. In the video, 1. He wears a flannel shirt to convince the working class he is one of them. When asking about the Harvard poll that says that 80% of voters vote for policy, not for personality, the pollsters soothed him by saying that that was a typo, that actually 80% voted for personality, not the other way around. 2. The pink color of his logo tackled the issue of Buttigieg's homosexuality upfront in a way that reflected something voters struggle to confess: that they are also part of the LGBTQ+ Disney Plus community. 3. Including the last scene of Dexter will let voters connect Buttigieg with their favorite celebrities. As the campaign progresses, endorsements from Oprah and Queen Latifah will be added. In his first declarations as a candidate, and strictly repeating the talking points prepared by his campaign manager, Buttigieg said that nobody can deny that we are worse, and we all want to be better, but with Trump we are worse, so we need to get better, and the opposite of the worse is the better. Therefore, the only way to get better is a vote for Buttigieg. Buttigieg admitted he couldn't find holes in his advisors' logic and congratulated them for preparing his message, which he was convinced was a winning message. Clarifying misunderstanding. Greta Thunberg declared the symbolic aid consists not of food or medicines but of pride flags and copies of her latest book. Celebrity Greta Thunberg set sail from southern Italy with a flotilla that aims to break the Israeli naval blockade with a cargo of symbolic humanitarian aid. Followed by a fleet of ships and helicopters in her journey, Thunberg declared she feared for her life. Any time, any moment, an ambush could put an end to our activism, she declared to the media. Yet, a clarification was made after some publications wrongly reported that the symbolic aid consisted of so-needed food, water, and medicines. No, declared Thunberg. We are bringing something better, the kind of special energy that will help them persevere until we can free Palestine, if Palestine is still on fashion by then, of course. The cargo consists of pride flags sent by LGBTQ+ activists in Europe and copies of my last book. No one is too small to make a difference. Florida man falsely reports dead body at McDonald's to get ride home, and police obliges. Jermaine Williams, 46, called 911 early Friday morning, claiming there was a dead body at the McDonald's on 6th Street Northwest in Winter Haven, Florida. Officers quickly responded to the fast food restaurant, only to find Williams sitting at the curb. He had called simply because he wanted a ride home, police said. Committed to serving their community, the officers acceded to his petition and took him to the sheriff's office just to process his request before taking him to Polk County Jail, which will be his home for the time the district judge determines. Asked about the Patriot defense, the sheriff declared that it did not apply to this case since the detainee didn't even know what the Republican Party was, much less that he had to be affiliated with it for the defense to work. I didn't even have to ask him if he had some deeply held belief, the other condition for the Patriot defense, because the man is so stupid. It's just a Lord's miracle he is still alive, declared the sheriff for 10 Tampa Bay News.
This has been the news of this hour. Sponsored by Church of the Holy Redeemer's Power in the Spirit. Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? Did you vote for Trump in 2016 and then in 2020? This is the right church for you. If so, Church of the Holy Redeemer's Power in the Spirit is the only Christian church that can promise you in the Lord to have 72 virgins in heaven for only a donation of $50 a month. You will have access to those 72 virgins in heaven. For an additional $25, you will be allowed to replace 10 of them, and for $100, Heaven Premium, you will be allowed to choose them for yourself. Guaranteed, if you're not satisfied with those 72 virgins after you die, full refund of your money. We accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover.